الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He has gathered us here today, He gathers us in a gathering much greater, Jannat al-Firdaus, with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Ameen. On the Day of Judgment, there will be groups of people that come in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some of them, they'll be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will be expecting to collect the reward of their fasting. They might have spent 20 Ramadans, 30 Ramadans, and they're like, it was very hot, I didn't have water, it was a struggle. SubhanAllah, I just came from Egypt. We used to give Iqamah at 3:08 a.m. Right, here's 4:45, we used to give it 3:08. And they'll stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hoping in the reward. But there's no reward there for them. Why is that? Because although they refrained from food and drinking, from eating and drinking, and fulfilling their desires, they did not restrain their tongue. Inshallah, my talk is going to be very short, but I just want to focus on two main things. Restrain your tongue. What you say, you'll be held accountable for. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." Whoever believes in Allah and in the last day, let him speak good or keep silent. In the month of Ramadan, although we may be by ourselves, we don't eat and we don't drink. Why? Because we're aware that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. Similarly, before you speak, whether it's in the month of Ramadan or not, but you're more conscious in the month of Ramadan of this, remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears everything that you say. There are angels ready, recording whatever you say and whatever you do. So restrain your tongue. Secondly, is avoid those things which do not concern you. Focus on your goals. Everyone should have goals for the month of Ramadan, and you should focus on those goals. Do not let other things distract you. Last year, I was in Naperville, but many of the people from this community, they went through a lot of fitna, a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations during the month of Ramadan. And there were a lot of rumors that were spread. This is what's happening, and all of these different things. People were not spending their time, ayyam ma'dudat, very little amount of time, few days, instead of engaging in the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reciting Quran, praying qiyam, making da'wah, making tasbih. They were talking about he said this, and she said this, and this happened, and this happened. In the end, this doesn't benefit anybody. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Min husn al-Islam al-mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'ni." From the perfection of a person's Islam is that he leaves those things which do not concern him. So someone may say that the affairs of the community, that's concerning to me. That's right. You should be concerned about this. But how do you deal with these things? Do you cause more damage, or do you take proactive steps to make the situation better and not worse? Another thing is during the month of Ramadan, right? We always say that the masajid, they do fundraising for hours. Frankly, a lot of us sometimes, even especially the imams, when we pray, sometimes we get annoyed of this. But it's a need. But how do we deal with this in a proactive way? Use your talents. Use the brains Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you to help find alternative solutions to address this problem so that we don't have to wait for hours raising money for fundraising, right? For raising money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us great blessings, and we need to take advantage of these blessings He has bestowed upon us. if we are sincere and we want to benefit from the month of Ramadan, then we need to start that change now. The last thing I'll say, inshallah ta'ala, is that avoid any drama. What do I mean by that? You know how on TV, they advertise different shows. Okay? They advertise different shows. If people don't watch them, what happens to those shows? What happens? Okay, they get canceled. Not right away though. Before they get canceled, they try to change the dates. They try to market it to a different crowd. They try to come from every different angle. But if no one pays attention to these things, then yes, eventually it will get canceled. You have a purpose. You have a goal, which is to increase your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To increase your relationship with the Quran. Anything that stands in the way of that goal is drama and unnecessary. You don't need it. So again, to end, inshallah, focus on these two things. I don't want to take any more time from Shaykh Abdul Bari. Control the use of your tongue. Do not say anything that you will regret when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And secondly, use your time wisely. Use your time wisely. Don't waste your own time and don't waste other people's time by getting involved in things that do not concern you and do not benefit you in this dunya nor the akhirah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His beautiful names and His glorious attributes that He allows us all to reach the month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to be among those that are forgiven and freed from the fire of hell during the month of Ramadan. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanakallah bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.